Howdy folks, Todd here with Great Escape Farms. Today we are going to take a tour of our perennial sheep mulch garden. Sheep mulch or lasagna garden is basically layering different layers of organic compounds in there, and I have previous videos on that. We'll go ahead and link to some of those in the show notes. This is a 2023 update, kind of show you where we're at. We actually rehabbed it this past winter, and I'm going to go ahead and explain what we did there and just kind of show you the way that everything looks right now. Let's go check it out. So the rehab this year involved digging up all of the paths, dug all the way down to the hard clay. We had many different layers of organic material, and it was getting to the point where the paths were unmanageable as far as too many weeds. So we went ahead and we dug that up. We moved all of the good soil from here and we put it in the garden beds. That required us to dig up all of the perennials and move them up so that we didn't bury them. And then we have about 12 inches of new mulch in here in our paths. So that allowed us to delineate paths, and you can actually see where the path and the garden beds are. Then we mulched with some straw here. All we have to do is pick up the seed straw that actually comes out, but other than that, everything looks pretty decent in here. So we added a lot more perennials this year. This year we added tags. The white tags are for perennials, and it gives you the common name, the Latin name, where it is perennial or annual or whatever, or biannual, and then there is a number there, and that is the location on the garden map. Everything on the property has a location written down on the garden map. And then we have some annuals, and annuals would be like this lettuce leaf basil here. So the annuals are marked in orange and the perennials are marked in the white tags here. And everything has just been growing and doing great this year. My honeyberry is completely taking over the path this winter. When there's no leaves on it, I'm gonna go ahead and trim that back so I have a path back again. Between that and the lemon balm, it's almost completely closed us up. So this is mainly a perennial garden, and we plant in annuals just to fill in spaces here. But in the back, we have our hardy citrus here, and it has been in here for 6 years. I'm trying to find fruit. I don't see any on this side. It's all over on the other side. I do see a couple pieces here, but this is a flavor-wise, it's like a cross between a lemon and a grapefruit. I'm sorry, an orange and a grapefruit. Rather seedy, so not great for eating fresh out of hand, but I do fermented tea, kombucha, and it is wonderful for a second ferment on that. Next up, we have sea kale here. It was originally one plant, and I disturbed the roots in a couple areas, and it's forming a bunch of other plants. So eventually these will get dug up and potted up and sold off because they're getting carried away here. I have a perennial sorrel in here that doesn't shoot up the flower stalks, so the leaves are usable year round. And I have the Turkish rocket back there, which is a broccoli substitute. And let's see, an annual of nasturtium here. You eat the flowers, the leaves, the stalks, everything on this. And it is just a wonderful plant, one of my favorite annuals here in the garden. And this is red Malibar spinach. And it is a spinach substitute, and it is a vine, and it is just going crazy in here. And some baby cucumbers. One of my favorite things, this is the first year I have had it, and I don't know why, it is holy basil. And it is an annual, but it just has a smell, a beautiful, wonderful aroma to it that I absolutely love. And this is my fennel that has been coming back. This is probably the 5th or the 6th year on that. And it produces fennel seed, and I like eating the little fronds off of it. It does not produce a bulb. It's not the bulbing type. It's just the perennial type that comes back year after year, and it is a great plant. Lots of different sages and things put in here, and mixed in with that I have, well, there's another perennial thyme, and then I have basil and stuff in here. Again, oregano over here, and a couple peppers that are starting to do a little bit better here. And let's see, Horehound there. I have Lovage that is between the Lovage and the Anise Hyssop there. They are taking over that bed and doing great. I have different squashes and stuff coming up along the trellises here, and I have to come out almost daily and revine these things so that they don't go off in the wrong direction on me here. And I put something new in this year called Wall Rocket. It's a perennial wall rocket, and it tastes just like arugula, except it comes back year after year. And even when it gets flowers, it's not considered bolting. It's still edible all the way through the summer. And that is just wonderful. If you like arugula, it tastes exactly like it. It's just a wonderful plant there. And I have some perennial kale back here. It's called Kaleidoscope, and it's supposed to have different colors. It doesn't have different colors, but I just like the fact that it's perennial and comes back year after year. And let's see, there's the sweet scarlet Goumi. They say that gets up to 6 or 7 feet, and it's about 9 right now, so it really likes this location. One other thing I want to point out, let me back up here, is I have the Goumi, the Chi, and some bush cherries and the citrus down there. I put all that purposefully, the taller plants, on the west side, so that gives these plants in here a little bit of shade in case they don't like the evening brutal sun or the all-day sun. So stuff that likes the brutal sun can be on this side of the garden. The stuff that needs a half-day shade will go over here, because we are at high noon right now, and in another hour or so we'll start shading off areas of this. And there are some plants that just really don't like all-day sun. They just like a little bit of shade. So really fast, without going into each and every single plant, trying to make this video a little bit shorter than some I've done in here, that is what the perennial garden looks like in 2023. Thank you very much for tuning in.